Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast and also the founder of Deep Woods Paranormal. So, as you can see, the office has been changed just a little bit. We have an alien sitting behind us, and the TV's now in a new place. We got a new desk, and I will go into all that later when we do an unboxing video for the new camera and all the gear that we got with it. And we're excited to try that out. Some things in the background have changed. You can see there's some new shelving, which I've been meaning to put up forever. So, all right. So if you're listening to the podcast, I apologize. You're welcome to come over here to our YouTube channel and check it out. All right. So, or a Rumble. All the links are down below to everything I'm going to talk about today. So we've had a lot of strange things happening in the Brazos Valley where I live here in Texas. And so I started doing research into all the different things that have been happening. And this is going to be more of a cryptid podcast. We're going to talk about this guy. And we're also going to talk about Bigfoots and some other creatures, maybe some skinwalkers and other things like that. So, unfortunately, I'm on call for work, so I got to make this as quick as possible. So let me share my screen with you guys. Let's see. All right, we're going to start real quick here. Thank you guys to everyone who watched and liked our last Bigfoot podcast, video podcast, and our audio podcast. You guys are amazing. You guys blew that up. So I appreciate that. If you have not seen that or listened to it, please go back. We will be following up on that case because we had a sheriff that basically shot a Bigfoot in the middle of town in New York and then basically dumped the body in a river. According to the website. Now, I can't tell you 100% that's true, and I've been working on trying to get a hold of anyone who knows anything about that, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck. So, anyways, we're going to continue on because I need to show you some other stuff. The last two videos of that ghostly activity in the office has been posted. I will post one more short. I did figure out what it was, as I kind of talked about last time. So you're welcome to come on over here to our Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. I'm sorry, Deep Woods YouTube channel and check everything out. If you want to buy us a coffee, I'll explain that in just a second. I'm going to try and keep moving here. All right. So also over here on our Rumble page, we've got some of that stuff now transferring over. Again, thank you to everybody who's watched and enjoying this stuff. I don't think the newest Bigfoot podcast has come over to our Rumble channel yet. For some reason, it's just taking a long time to get over there. It seems like whenever I just post it straight to Rumble, it doesn't get as many views as if it comes straight over from YouTube. I think it's based off of how it does on YouTube. They promote it more. So I'm starting to see a lot of stuff a lot of our videos being posted on the front page now of YouTube, which is great when you do a search for anything paranormal. All right. Another thing I wanted to quickly talk about, we do have a Facebook group, and we do post a lot of content here. I encourage people to always post on here. We're gaining followers left and right, and so you can see we have content that goes up at least 3 to 5 times a week. We encourage other people to feel free to come on here and post as well. You can see our most recent videos. Our podcasts are here, and sooner or later the shows are going to be here as well. And I'll briefly talk about the shows in a second here. So I just quickly talked about buy us a coffee. So basically, if you just want to buy us a coffee, it's $3 per cup, I think. And what it does is it just helps us continue to be able to buy new gear. We do have a wish list. We have the FLIR Scout TX pocket-sized thermal vision handheld monocular camera. I've used this before with other investigators. I really like it. It's a great camera. It's a great thermal camera. We also are trying to get a hold of the Canon VX HF G70 UHD 4K camera. We just bought the other one, the lower one below this. So that's what we're going to be testing out. Hopefully, we're going to enjoy this as much as we're going to be able to use this too. And we're going to hope to get a couple of 3 or 4 different cameras. So, but these are the only ones that kind of see in night vision intervals and can see in complete darkness. It's not just like a little tiny bit of, you don't just see the IR light, you see the whole thing. So speaking of IR lights, and then we asked if you guys could help us out with a new IR flashlight. This thing's big. Basically it's a spotlight essentially. And so when we're not looking for Bigfoots, we want to be able to see as far as we can. And I've been told by several other producers that produce not only paranormal content, but also have produced shows that they use IR flashlights and other things when they're out in the woods, and that's how they're able to see. Oh, sorry about that. Allergies are going crazy. You guys all know about our Manscaped contract that we have. We're trying to support them, and they're going to support us. So if you guys are interested in anything from Manscaped, please put in the discount code DWP. It stands for Deep Woods Paranormal. All right, so let's get into the podcast. So what we're exploring right now is this. If you're on our video podcast, you can see the map of Brazos County. Let me zoom back out, and I'll show you how big Texas is compared to a little small area that we're looking at right now. I'm sorry, my allergies are going crazy. So this big thing is Texas, and you can't quite see it all the way because there's the Louisiana and Arkansas border basically are covered with pens, and then all the way down here to the Gulf of Mexico, of course. But we're only focusing on this little spot right now. This is where I live in College Station. But we're exploring all these surrounding counties, especially out here in Milano and stuff like that. I gotta film this again. Bear with me. Oh my gosh. Expecting rain. My nose barometer is telling us it's going to rain. All right, so anyways, we've been looking in this area. Of course, you have downtown Bryan, which is very haunted, has some of the most haunted buildings in all of Texas. But we've been kind of staying out here on the OSR, where if I can find the OSR, should be out here. Is it the 190? I think it's the 190. A little small road. It's just off here somewhere. It's really hard to see these little by roads sometimes. There it is. Old San Antonio Road. All right, so this is the road we were on the other day when we were basically looking for anything strange. You can see the pins up here. This is basically where we stopped and got out of the car. I really like those 2 locations, so I pinned them so I can find them in the future. But as you can see, there's some other pins out here and other strange things going on. And then, so let's see. Some of these pins are just my local things, but a lot of them are different haunted locations. There are different sightings of different things. This is from my work. And then essentially there's other places you just see pins. Let me see what this is. This is Franklin, Texas. This is also supposed to be very haunted. Let's see, Robertson County, of course. I'm not going to be working with that. But that's also got a lot of paranormal activity. This whole valley seems to have a lot of paranormal activity. So let's get into this. Let's start here. And this is basically just something, these are considered cryptids. So I'm not going to talk too much about this, but it's called the River Otters of Bell County. You're going, okay, what does a otter have to do with anything? Excuse me. But river otters here are not really common. You do see smaller otters. These are the bigger otters. It says, as a regular reader of this blog, I know I started a camera trapping project here in Bell County in June of last year. It says, I've chased mountain lion reports from one end of the county to the other. I have yet to capture a photo of these elusive cats, but remain hopeful. There continues to be periodic sightings of a cougar in the general area, blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk about that because I want to talk about that in a minute. It says, last month I retrieved images from my camera, and I was surprised to find a photo of a pair of river otters walking down a dry creek bed. I've lived in the area since 1987 and have never heard anyone mention having seen otters before. It said I did a bit of research and found, according to the Mammals of Texas, otters have never been documented in Bell County. Holy moly. It says the possibility that I had documented a species previously unrecognized in Bell got me pretty excited. So I fired off the following email to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. So that's very interesting. You can see them here if you're watching this. Let me blow this up. Yeah, there aren't very many otters out in this area. There are otters in certain of the rivers. There's gators out here. There's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of wildlife in our area. But that's kind of an interesting one. So let's get into the exciting stuff. So this happened just a while ago, and somebody took a picture of some mysterious lights streaking through the sky. And this is over the Brazos Valley. This is KBTX. This is our local news channel. We have we're in a small town. So essentially, we just have a couple of different news organizations. This is one that I follow. They're very good. They're very honest. They don't really try and sugarcoat anything. They just tell you how it is, which I really like. So it says several KBTX viewers are reporting mysterious lights that appeared Tuesday night in the sky above the Brazos Valley. Many more others reported seeing the same thing on their social media sites. It says one viewer said it appeared to be about 50 or so lights followed by 3 objects. Others described it as a string of lights across the southwest sky, lined up in a straight line. Okay, so that's interesting, and that's pretty much all there is. So you can see this picture. It's very interesting. It does look like something's streaking across the sky, maybe at a fast speed, and maybe just... Now, this could be that somebody's camera just couldn't keep up with whatever was moving. Maybe it was moving so fast that the camera was just getting a glitch in it. I doubt it. I wish they had a video of it, not just a picture. But this is very interesting how this goes flying across the sky like that. And then, they basically, it looks like there's something solid here, but it looks like it's leaving almost like a path behind it, if you will. Or it could be multiple objects, or it could just be, some kind of strange light. Who knows? But that's very interesting because I'm investigating cattle mutilations, which a lot of people here locally have been helping me, and I thank you guys for all my local listeners who have been handing me stories and telling me about reports and telling me about anything strange that you observed. Please continue on. We've been doing that on Facebook. The Facebook group is probably the best place to do that. It's a private group, so you can go in there and basically share your story. Again, there's no judgment, so we don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable or feel like they're being judged in any way or shape or form. All right, so let's keep moving here because I don't know when I'm going to get the call. All right, so here's a really interesting one. Now, I just talked to a witness that saw a Bigfoot down by the Brazos River. And if you don't know, the Brazos River basically goes right through. Let me go back here. All right, so the Brazos River, where are you? Comes down, let's see, it cuts across Brazos. Let's see, hold on a second. I will find it, I promise I will. So it's on here somewhere. Where's the Brazos River? It's a big river. It's not tiny. It's big, very very wide. Let me type in the Brazos River and see if it comes up. It's not getting shown on here very well. Oh, you know what? I think we just saw it a minute ago. Where could we go? There it is. All right. So this is the Brazos River, and it kind of goes zigzags out through the country, and then basically continues up, 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 all the way up to let's see, I don't know what county this is. Bosco County. But it winds its way all the way up, and it keeps going, keeps going. Like I said, it's a very wide river, and it's probably 30, 40 feet across. I don't know how deep it is, but it does come through the middle of town, and then basically, it, like I said, it goes out into this area here. If you're looking at this area here, this is not very there's not very many people out here. It's pretty secluded and stuff like that. So yeah, and then there's a little Brazos Valley, the river too, that runs up here as well. But this runs up towards, this is interesting, because this runs up towards other Bigfoot reports. These, I believe these are Bigfoot reports. Yeah. So yeah, these are right on that river. And guess what? There's Bigfoot reports up here. So yeah, we've had them as close as down in the Hearn area now. And Hearn is this whole area, our whole area. If you look at Brazos Valley, we like no. Okay, this thing's being a pain in the yin yang. And I believe Hearn is in the next county. But anyways, right as you go up the 190 of the 6 here, it crosses over into another area. But most of our area here is very, very wooded, as you can see. There's just woods all surrounding us, and then into the Brazos Valley too. I mean, we're not a tiny city, we're not a big city, we're kind of in the between. I think we have between Bryan and College Station almost 200,000 people, which is a good sized little town. So, but you have all these reports on the outskirts out here, and then on the outskirts here too. And then you can see some out here as well. So there's a lot of different reports in and around our area. But let's keep going here. So we have the river otters, we have the strange lights, and then we have the Bigfoot sightings out in the Brazos River in the Hood County, Texas. So let's look up where Hood County, Texas is. Bear with my allergies. Okay, so let's see where that is from where we are. That's quite a ways. But yeah, this is an area where I basically have pinned. I've heard of Bigfoot's being up in that area. For some reason, it says it is in the Brazos County, but we've had reports of Bigfoots in and around the, like I said, the Hearn area too, and then out on the one on the OSR too, where we were the other day. When we were out there, we heard a tree knock. It was like a, I'm like, what? We weren't expecting or looking for Bigfoots. We were watching the skies and we were looking around at different orbs that we kept seeing. We were just looking for anything to kind of give us some information. But yeah, I mean, we were here along this area. And if you look, most of this area, it's forested or it's very essentially just open area. It's open land where people have a lot of cows, believe it or not. All right, so let's move on here. The Texas big bird. This is like a very large eagle or whatever. It was seen over the Rio Grande, but it's been seen all over Texas. So here's a picture of it. So essentially, it's the size of like a car or bigger. It looks kind of like I guess it's some kind of a predator. And essentially, it just basically goes after different types of prey. Supposedly, they've been able to pick up kids. So, all right, let's keep it. All right. So the Texas big bird was a flying cryptid that was seen flying over the Rio Grande. Whoa, okay. Flying over the Rio Grande in January of 1976. I believe I talked about this before. It was encountered at least twice. The two known witnesses were of Brownsville, Texas, and Raymondville, Texas. So it says, despite the name, the creature was rarely described as a bird-like. It was, let's see. Despite the name, the creature was rarely described as being bird-like. Witnesses reports as being 5 feet tall, with large wings often folding back behind its back, like a normal bird. It seems to possess large red eyes on a gorilla-like face. And he also reported that it had a funny whistling sound before he was attacked. And it doesn't go into any more detail. I think I've talked about this before. It had a gorilla-like face. So they're saying it was more like maybe like a Bigfoot-like creature. All right. So you've all heard of El Chupacabra. I actually have talked to a couple people down here that basically work, on the trains, and I've heard a couple reports of them seeing them, and they say they look just kind of like this thing, whatever this thing is. If this will open. So yeah, it looks like a cross between a wolf and a dog. It has like next to no hair, and has very like a longer snout than a normal coyote or wolf does. Has large ears and a weird like tail. And so they think this is a cross between a wolf and a coyote, and maybe has some kind of mange. So that's just really interesting too. But anyways, this was spotted at a zoo, basically in Austin, Texas, which is actually just southwest of us. And so this thing comes walking across behind the fence and gets caught on camera. And nobody really knows what it was. They don't know if it was a prank or if it was somebody maybe in some kind of a suit, or if it's real. But it seems to kind of be walking upright. It's not very tall, and people are calling it El Chupacabra. Anyway, so let's keep going. All right, jaguars, jaguardus. It says, is the mystery of Texas Black Panther sighting solved? So it says one of the most famous tales of cryptids across the great state of Texas is that of the Black Panther. It says biologists were very quick to note there is literally no such thing as a Black Panther. It says many cryptozoologists attempt to explain the phenomenon in two ways. These sightings of a giant black predatory cat across the states are really jaguars, which means they have migrated steadily north from their primary habitats in central Mexico, or that these cats are undiscovered or unconfirmed new species, with biologists not recognizing them until someone delivers a body, either dead or alive. That sounds really familiar. So it says that the sightings have been reported in central Texas and Hill County in particular, but in areas of Bastrop and Caldwell. Now, we're not very far from Caldwell. And it says, according to small outposts, blah, blah, blah. So they don't know exactly what they're seeing. So this is maybe what I saw. It's called jaguardus. and it's a bobcat. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but they're bobcat-sized wildcats, typically reaching a weight of 20 pounds. They can also have dark fur. Distinguishing character of the above is their long tails. The tail length combined with their short hair, powerful legs, meaning wildcats can appear much larger than they really are, especially at a distance. So I'm not going to go too much into this. I saw something behind the house. The dogs were out in the backyard, and if you've ever seen some of the videos we have, especially with that drone disappearing off into who knows where it went, nobody could find it in their backyards. Um, our backyard slopes down into an overflow for water and stuff like that, and then of course it goes over into the forest. And so essentially they put our fence down 6 feet below where the top of our normal walking area is in our backyard. So that slope is part of our backyard, but they put the fence down there, and so we can see right over it. And that's the cool thing because number one, we have really cool sunsets here. Number two, we can see into the forest, and we can sit there and watch. Sometimes animals do come down from the forest over there, and they come back into our back area, and they watch the dogs or whatever. We have all different size dogs. We have the little min pin Tink. We have Zeus, who's a little bit bigger, and then we have Mama and Shorty, who are about small sized dogs, and then we have Chance, who's between a medium and large dog. But yeah, they pretty much were whatever it was watching, and the dogs were just going at it. So I'm thinking, okay, we have a walking track from the school that's next to us, and the dogs can see through some of the trees. There's a clearing, and they can see people walking back there, and they bark, 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 bark at them. And so I figured that's what they were barking at. So I walk out, and then I saw movement about straight ahead of me, about I would say maybe 200 feet ahead of me, and walking through the tall grass back there because it hasn't been mowed in forever. You could see something black, and it was definitely a cat. I know it was a cat, but I don't know if it was a puma or if it was this other thing that looks like a little bit like a bobcat. It was kind of maybe in between the size. It was chances about 60 pounds. He's about a foot and a half tall and maybe 3 feet long. This thing was bigger than he was, at least a foot or two bigger than he was. So, and it was probably at least the same height, if not a little taller. At first, I'm looking at him going, wait, because I have a black cat, and I thought maybe he had gotten out. Because sometimes we leave the door open for the dogs to run in and out, especially when we're trying to get them in. And so I'm thinking, okay, what in the world? But I was like, oh crap, my cat. He has green eyes and everything, just like this cat. If you're watching the video, and so I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, I let the cat out. My wife's gonna flip. I'd have to go through all that crap and try and get him. And sometimes he's really good though. He comes back. He's more like a dog. If you whistle for him, he will come, which is cool. But even if he's outside, he'll come back in. He'll come right back to you if you tell him to come back in. He's a really good cat. But this thing was way bigger than he was. I mean, I figured it out when I'm sitting there, standing there, and when I look back, I could see him and I could see this thing. I'm like, whoa, that thing has to be 10, at least 10 times bigger than he is. And he's about a foot tall, maybe about a foot and a half long. He's a little bit bigger black cat. He's not like one of the smaller ones. And essentially, he was just looking at me like, what in the world? So I closed the door and immediately called my dogs back in because I didn't want whatever it was out there to attack my dogs. And so I sat there and I watched it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's really strange. But yeah, it was really cool to see whatever it was out there. And yeah, so we're going to continue to observe the strange lights out here. There's a lot of strange lights. There's also a lot of bangs and rumbles. Sometimes it just violently shake the house out of nowhere. some of it can be explained. Some of it's jet fighters flying over. Sometimes those big, huge green cargo planes fly over. We're in the flight path of them. They do fly into our little airport over here by Texas A&M. And then, but sometimes there's just loud booms and bangs. When we lived in downtown College Station, we one day the house just violently vibrated. It didn't shake, it vibrated like the window. Every single window in that house vibrated. And I'm like, oh, what the heck was that? And I started doing research and I couldn't find anything on it. In fact, we contacted the local news. The local news had heard about it, but they couldn't tell us what it was. And they said it was very common out here. Now we do get explosions. We did one rumble that shook this house was actually, unfortunately, about a mile away, and lightning had hit one of the oil derricks, and I guess it exploded or something. One of the not the actual oil derrick, but the actual I guess they had God, I can't think that they had a storage container sitting next to it full of oil, and it exploded and unfortunately killed somebody. But yeah, just craziness. So we have a lot of strange things in the Brazos Valley. If you live in Brazos Valley and you're listening, we have a lot of listeners here, which thank you guys for listening. Feel free to comment down below on whatever platform you're on. You can send me an email, you can text me, you can call me. All my information is down below. Feel free to join our Facebook group. Again, the link's down below. If you're on YouTube or our Rumble page, feel free to comment down below. And or Facebook, contact us through Facebook. You're welcome to friend us there too, or go on to our Deep Woods Paranormal Facebook page. All of our content gets posted over there as well. Follow us on Twitter, whatever your platform is. We're also on Instagram. So do me a favor also, if you'll give us a like, if you like this video, give us a like, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any content. We do try and provide content every 3 to 5 days. We're doing a lot of shorts, like I just showed you a minute ago. So there'll be more shorts coming out here, and then the show. I am working on the show. I'm taking the next step. Right now, I'm just trying to get enough video and get it edited to start putting out a show a week is what I want to do. That's my goal. Maybe every Friday it'll come out or whatever. And it'll be like a TV show. And I've heard you guys, what you guys said. Hey, we want to make sure that, we want to know what you're seeing. So we're going to do our best to document what we're seeing. It won't be just like, what was that? Oh, did you hear that? Or whatever. We're going to do our best to document it and show you what we're actually experiencing. We'll be interviewing witnesses, and we'll be just trying to do everything we can to get you guys as much information as we can about what we're doing, and try and give you guys some of the history, and then you can come explore with us. That show will hopefully be out in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. The first one. I'm still working on like I said, I'm working on the cow mutilations. I think that might be my first one. I'm working with a couple other people to come out to their properties and do some Bigfoot research. This show is going to pretty much be mainly Bigfoot activity, but it will have hauntings, demonology. It will have river monsters, lake monsters, other cryptids, skinwalkers, Dogman, lizard man. We'll be looking for all that stuff. So it'll be kind of a cryptid-based show. We'll also look for UFOs and whatever else. Kind of like what we've been doing on YouTube, but it's going to be a notch higher. And we're hoping that show will do well enough to get picked up, and then hopefully you guys will be watching us on whatever platform you guys watch on, Hulu or whatever, Hulu, Netflix, or whatever. So anyways, that's the long-term goal. Again, we really appreciate everybody listening and watching. Thank you guys for subscribing and supporting our channel, and thank you guys for all the nice comments. We appreciate that. If you'll do us a favor, please, again, hit the like button and put a comment down below. What did you think of the video? What what did you think of the podcast? What would you like to see? What would you like to see on a TV show? Please don't be afraid to comment. If there's something that you would like to see, I want to know, because I want to make sure it gets incorporated into our show. What happens is a lot of people don't comment, and they just kind of click on because there's one thing that they didn't like, or they wanted to see. If you had only done this, and you're not the only one. So there might be a lot of other people out there that also, hey, you should have gone in and out of the room. You really should have gone in and out of the room. Or, I don't really like it when you, don't do this, or whatever. I mean, please be, I don't mind constructive criticism, but please be nice about it. Please be respectful, and also please be respectful of other people's comments too. So, please don't spam the channel. And again, we appreciate you guys. Let me put this back to, so let me get there, we go. All right. So again, we will be looking to go after all kinds of different things here in the future. My production company is starting to get going. So we're working with other producers on different things too, other projects. So, and then we're going to have some really cool events coming out here too. As part of a production company, we're going to be doing tours. We're going to be doing overnight lockdowns in certain places where the public can come join us. Maybe some public Bigfoot hunts. So be ready for that. And we look forward to meeting you at those events. And thank you guys for watching, listening, and we will catch you on the next one.